Managing network settings one device at a time can lead to frustration, especially when you have multiple switches. The time it takes to log on and make the same changes on each device is time-consuming. Even worse, it can also lead to mistakes. That's what makes CLI templates on Cisco Business Dashboard, or CBD, so great. A CLI template is a pre-written set of instructions for your network. Once you create one, you can apply it to your devices instantly, ensuring everything stays consistent without the manual headache. It's like how a DJ creates a set list ahead of time. It can then be followed each night it's showtime. A CLI template is like that set list. When you're ready to go, you just hit play. The dashboard applies the right configuration to your devices in the right order without you having to touch a thing. In this episode of Cisco Tech Talk, I will show you how to use a regular CLI template on Cisco Business Dashboard version 2.11.1 next. To get started, head over to the provisioning menu and select CLI templates. You will see a few sample templates already there. To add your own, click the Add button. Select your organization from the drop-down menu. I'll use the default organization. Choose Regular for the type of template. Provide a relevant name and a description for your template. In the Product ID field, you will need to tell the dashboard which devices this template applies to. You can see examples by hovering your mouse over the question mark besides the Product ID field. Use a question mark as a wildcard for a single character and an asterisk as a wildcard for multiple characters. For example, to cover Catalyst 1200 and 1300 series switches, you can use the wildcard pattern shown in the help text. For CBS 250 or 350 switches, you can define the pattern as CBS ? 50 asterisk. Once you enter the details, click the Save button. For this demonstration, I'm using a template called No Session Timeout. My goal is to change the default timeout settings for a Catalyst 1300 switch. Currently, the idle session timeout for HTTP, console, and SSH is set to 10 minutes. I want to change these to never, so the session stays active. Once the template is ready, select it from the list and click the Provision button. You will see a list of applicable devices. You can choose all switches or select a specific one by clicking the checkbox next to it. I'll choose a Catalyst 1300 switch. Click Next to continue. On the next screen, you will see the device validation section. There is a checkbox labeled Proceed despite CLI access test result. This allows you to bypass the automatic verification if you already know your settings are correct. However, I recommend clicking Test CLI Access to ensure the dashboard can communicate with the switch, basically checking if CLI access is enabled on the switch. If the test is not successful, you can select the Fix Issues button. If the result shows with the green check mark, the test was a success. It is important to ensure that your switch login credentials are correctly added to the Cisco Business Dashboard and that SSH is enabled on the switch. Once done, click Next. On the template variable configuration page, you can see the commands that will be applied. You will see a checkbox to copy the configuration from running to startup after applying this template variable. If you select this, the dashboard automatically saves changes, so they persist after a reboot. If you do not select this, you will need to save the configuration manually on the switch. I will leave it unchecked for now to show you what happens next. Click Next to review the summary, then click the Finish button. The status will show as provisioning. You can monitor the progress in the Job Center. Once the status changes to succeeded, click View Detail to see the specific data sent to the switch. To verify the changes, refresh your switch management page. You will see that HTTP, console, and SSH system timeouts have changed to never. You will also notice a blinking floppy disk sign on the switch interface, which indicates that a configuration change has occurred but has not yet been saved to the startup file. Click the red floppy disk icon to save your work. If you return to the CLI template section in the dashboard, you will see that the provisioning status for your template is updated. It now shows that the devices have been successfully provisioned. That's all there is to it. With CLI templates, you can keep your network running in perfect harmony. It's the easiest way to hit play on your configurations and get back to what matters most, your business. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.